Welcome, I'm Dr. Pipes. I want to talk about playing the saxophone and practicing. I'm here with Kelly Benedict.
Hello.
Hey Kelly, where do you go to high school?
Union High School.
In?
Camas, Washington.
So Kelly is a new student of mine, and we want to talk about the approach to the saxophone and things that you want to do right away so that you can speed up and get things done. Well, the first thing, Kelly, to know is that slow practice is really king. So when we're playing scales or exercises or any excerpts from music, we want to make sure we take a metronome, turn the metronome on, and then slow them down. Secondly, I just want to address posture. Now, your posture looks pretty good. We want to get the heels under the knees. All right, and then sit close to the edge of the chair, which, that could be a little better. Yeah, that's it, good. Now, heels a little bit further forward so they get them under your knees. Now, especially since Kelly doesn't have the largest stature in the world, but she's playing Bari, I want to make sure that everybody can see that you can play Bari. You don't have to look like a linebacker in order to do it. So just sit up straight. Now you're going to notice that the horn's trying to pull you a little bit. So push out with your right hand. There you go. And that pushes the horn forward. Now, this neck and this mouthpiece can move to wherever you need to put it, especially on Bari. It really does. There's no octave key in the way to worry about. So you can just turn this thing and put it however you want to put it. If you want to play the Bari here, you can. If you want to play the Bari here, you can. It really doesn't matter. Just put it how it works for you. What we don't want, Kelly, is for it to be down here.
Yeah.
Because that changes the angle of the mouthpiece. And you don't want to pull your head down. Mm-hmm. All right, so what's comfortable for you? Maybe move the neck over a little bit.
I don't know.
Is that good? It's hard for me to tell without looking straight on. So make sure, sometimes you want to get in a mirror too and just check your face, check and make sure your head's not cocked from one side to the next, and make the horn work for you. Mm-hmm. Great. Now, mouthpieces and reeds. This right here is the S80 mouthpiece made by Selmer with a C-star opening. And then what's the reed you have on there?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Looks like a Vander in Java 3. Great. So that's slightly light for this mouthpiece, but it should work all right. I want students to move up to threes as quickly as possible, or a 3.5. Very early on, students are taught to use 2s and 2.5s. But reed strength isn't about how, if you're a beginner or if you're advanced. Reed strength is about the tip opening of the mouthpiece. So this mouthpiece has a 3-dimensional opening, and there's a curve here for the mouthpiece that's very slight, and then there's this dimension here called tip opening. So there's facing curve and tip opening. If it's really big, you need a lighter reed so that the reed can wiggle all the way back and forth through that long tip opening. Okay? So if it's more of a classical mouthpiece, like these S80s, then it's a small tip opening, so we need a harder reed, so it only wiggles like this. If it's too loose, and this reed is a little bit loose, so I can make it work, and you put all your air into it, it just goes up to the top of the mouthpiece and stops. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that this reed is just a little bit weak for me. This is a Lavaz medium hard. So you can easily overpower it. So that's a really good way to figure out, am I on a reed that's too light? If you can overpower the reed, put all your air into it and it just stops buzzing, move up to a harder reed.
Okay.
Yep. The harder reed will also excite all of the air inside this horn. So how does a saxophone work? Well, you're vibrating all of the air inside, and the outside, this brass, is just holding the air in place. That's all it's doing. So you have to put enough energy into the system to make the notes come out. You want to play a scale? Good. Now, another thing to think about is when you're playing, that sounded great, you also want to think, is there anything I could do better? So in a critical way, were there any notes that maybe didn't sound like the other notes?
A.
Yeah, was it a little light or a little heavy?
Light. Okay,
so let's play that slower. Start that scale, play it slower, and what happens when you get to the A? Good. That sounded better. Did you put some more air into it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You put some more air. it excites the entire air column and you're really making the horn work. So these are the kinds of things you're going to be working on: scales, airstream, overtones, approach to practice, and we're going to figure out how to play the saxophone and do a really good job doing it. So thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Appreciate you today. Go get your saxophone and have a good time.